Why do I do this to myself? 10 and drop. Welcome to my channel, my friends. Aparna Chandran here, and today I'm in a very manifesting sort of mood. I am just manifesting life for 2024. This last year, I've really struggled physically, mentally, and just with life in general. So with the new year coming in, I thought why not lay down some goals and get to work. It's not a new year resolution of sorts, but more like what I want my life to be like in 2024. So this video is basically a reminder for myself, not for you. It's a reminder for me to tell me that you know what, I have some goals in 2024 and it's time to get to work. But hopefully you are able to relate to it, and if you do, then it inspires and motivates you to set some goals of your own in 2024, whatever it may be. And if you do like this video, please do like and subscribe to my channel, as it supports me and helps me grow, and I would love to form a community and help all of you here as well. So I'm gonna get right into it, and my first goal for the next year, I've actually written it down, is to improve my physique. And no, I'm not gonna hide this. There is nothing wrong with my body whatsoever. I love the fact that my body supports me to play basketball, to work out, to travel, to do the craziest of adventures and everything that I put it through. But with all the ups and downs this past year, I really have come to the point where I feel like, you know what, I just don't want to maintain my physique, but I actually want to progress it and see where I can go with it. Am I happy with the body that I currently have? Absolutely yes. But do I want to explore and see what more I can do in terms of physique, in terms of performance, in terms of strength? That's 100% yes. Yes, I do work out for, a part of why I work out is to maintain a good physique and actually look good. And I'm not going to hide that at all, because currently right now, especially on social media, the buzz is that, you know what, do not work out to look good, work out for health, which I'm all on board about. But personally, one motivating factor for me is to also have a good physique, look strong, look fit, look lean, look athletic. And that's a huge motivator for me. So I'm not going to lie and say I work out only to feel good. I do work out to look good. But the other part of it is also to improve my functionality, strength and performance. And I am super excited to see where this is going to take me, because I've really doubled down on creating a routine, creating a structure, done my research, kind of put out a plan and a routine and scheduled it at least for the first 3 months to see how my body is going to progress. And I'm super excited about that. And this is a whole new challenge. It might sound crazy, but I love challenges and I love pushing my limits. So I'm super excited for that. The second one, now this is really, really important for me, and that's to stop being obsessed with food. Now when I say stop being obsessed with food, I don't eat a lot of junk. I have a very healthy eating routine. Sometimes I eat 6-7 meals a day, smaller meals. Sometimes, depending on work, I do not eat so much. But I do have a very healthy routine. But sometimes I feel like it's too healthy and it's too controlled. And given the fact that I've had a history of eating disorders, like you name it, I've tried it. I've tried low carb, I've tried keto, I've had high fat, I've had high carb, I've had low calorie diets, even to a point where I was just drinking a lime soda a day and still playing basketball for 8 hours. I've tried everything. I've been a vegan for 2 years. I'm not anymore, but that was not because of like wanting to lose weight or anything like that. I just became partially lactose intolerant, and then I cut out everything and then took it to an extreme, and that's a whole other story. But the reason I did all of this was to lose weight, and it didn't come from a perspective of being healthy or being ethical or anything like that. Every single diet was based on the fact that I wanted to be skinny. And while I have healed from that, I still have a very controlled notion of food. And in fact, if you don't know, the term for being overly obsessed with eating healthy is called orthorexia nervosa, basically an eating disorder. It is put up with the eating disorders of eating too healthy. And while orthorexia nervosa, unlike other eating disorders such as bulimia or anorexia, do not focus on the quantity of food, they do focus on the quality, where people, or in my case I did, eat extremely healthy, and it's an obsession with eating healthy that you do not touch any sort of junk, any sort of processed food. And again, I have self-diagnosed this because there was a point where I wouldn't touch anything outside, no restaurants, no packaged foods, I would eat only at home, and even that was sometimes a bare minimum and not too much, and I'm much better off. And in fact, some studies also show that orthorexia nervosa can cause depression, can cause anxiety. I've not done my full research, full due diligence on this, but there are papers which I'm going to link below so that you can do your bit and read up about it. All of these eating disorders do cause depression, do cause anxiety, do cause a lot of stress, and has a huge mental pressure on anybody or everybody who goes through this. But currently, that being said, I'm not in that state. I do eat outside, I'm not so strict as I used to be, but I still have this sort of restrictive feeling that I'm always thinking about food, and food is always on my mind because I'm like, oh, I need to eat to build muscle, so I need more protein, and then I can't overdo it on the fat, and maybe I can't eat so much right now because I have to go play, or this is not the right kind of food that I should be eating if I want to see progress. So that there's food always on my mind, and it's not an obsession per se, but it's become like a habit which I kind of want to be free of because I'm not really liking it. And I want to go back to what I used to be in school, or even a little later than that, where I was just happily training, playing basketball, running around, being very active, and then also just eating well. So I want to move away from the principle of exercise and dieting to training and eating, if that makes sense. I actually heard this from Nutty Foodie Fitness on Instagram, and I think that's a great principle, and that's how I used to be, and that's where I want to get back to. And the other thing is, I also don't want to be thinking about food all the time, what to prepare next, what to meal prep and things like that, and I just want to kind of go with the flow. And I actually did my research on this, and it's very interesting. There are some articles that say that thinking about food makes you fat. Obviously, the research is not very well versed on this, and there are not a lot of papers on this. In fact, I think I just saw one paper and a few other articles by institutions saying that thinking about food makes you fat because of the neuroreceptors in the brain, and that the brain is a powerful thing, which I'm not too sure about it. I will have to read up about it a lot more. But I did read this other interesting bit which kind of made sense to me, wherein when you are eating food, if you are going to eat a plate or a bowl of food thinking, oh, I'm eating this and I'm going to gain weight, or it's not the right thing for my body, and that comes from a place of guilt, your body is going to stress out. Because there is so much stress building up in you because you feel like you will lose your progress, or you will probably gain weight. That's what was in my case. And when that happens, you need to realize the science behind this. The gut and the brain are connected, and when food goes into your gut, it has a million receptors which send signals to the brain. And when someone is stressed out, there is cortisol production, there is stress in the body, and that activates the SNS, the sympathetic nervous system, which has an effect on digestion, which means it's slowing down a digestion in the body, and your body is not absorbing all the nutrients, and that means the food is going to stay longer in your intestines, in your GI tract, which means that you might feel bloated, you might have indigestion, and Moreover, your hormones might get affected if this goes on for a long period of time. Of course, I have to do a lot more research on this, but I felt like this kind of made sense, which is why I think my grandmom and my parents always told me as a kid not to do anything else while eating and solely focus on the food, so that I can fully take in the food with all of my senses, be calm, spend time with loved ones, and really eat in a calmed state, because that's when the body is going to absorb the maximum nutrition. And that kind of makes sense, right? And one more addition to this, because I really dived deep into this and it was very interesting. But research and some studies also show that thinking about food a lot makes you want to eat more. And I think I have experienced this firsthand, because when I think about food, or when I'm always watching food videos, and I'm sure you watched food videos online, and when you see something that's super tasty and mouth-watering, you really crave, and sometimes maybe immediately go order or make it at home. I know I've done it, and I think that's kind of interesting. So that's one of my goals. I want to get rid of this food obsession, thinking about food all the time. I just want to go with the flow, enjoy life, enjoy whatever food I have. And in fact, I made this smoothie bowl right now. If it was me before, I would have been like, you know what, this is just bananas and granola and fruit, of course made with soy milk, and it has a little bit of Greek yogurt to top off. But I would have been like, you know what, that's less on protein, it needs more fat, it's very carb heavy. I don't want to think about all of that anymore. I just want to go intuitively, in quotes. I just want to eat with the flow, enjoy what I'm eating, and stick to tried and tested practices of what I've been following as a kid, making sure that I'm getting a good balance, because the tried and tested traditional meals in our household were always balanced, and that's what I want to stick to. And hopefully I can achieve that, because that would mean true food freedom. And if you're someone who's going through this too, let me tell you right now, please don't fall for any of the diet fads in the industry. I've done it all so that you don't have to, and it's horrible. So just live your life, but make sure you're fueling your body for what it needs to do. And frankly, just do it for yourself, not for anybody else. That granola is good. Third one. Now this is pretty interesting. I'm going to be learning new skills in 2024. I actually have already signed up for boxing/MMA lessons starting January 1st. And I'm super excited for it. I have my reasons for it. Second one, the second new skill that I want to learn is to be able to do a handstand by the end of the year. Now why these two? Well, frankly, my upper body strength is miserable. My lower body strength is like A+, but upper body strength, nah. But I'm more excited for boxing because, well, number one is I want to be able to learn self-defense and beat up anybody if they mess with me. I'm just kidding. No, I don't want to beat up anybody. But no, it would be nice to have some self-defense skills and, you know, be like, oh, I know some cool moves. But yeah, I've always been interested in boxing, and MMA also sounds like a nice thing, so I am going to try it out and see where I go with it. And it's also a lot of, like, I would say, conditioning, which is great because I really look forward to it. But that also means my activity level is going to go way up, as if it is not already. And the handstand part, so this actually came about because I've seen a lot of people do gymnastics and handstands, and I was like, oh, it'll be really cool to stand upside down. And I'm also learning animal flow, which means I need to build a lot of shoulder strength and upper body strength. And handstand or standing on your hands in whichever, with your legs bent, legs straight, is a part of animal flow, which is why I really want to get into it. And I'm super excited because it's going to be a real challenge. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I will get there. And this is probably the most interesting part of my goal or the to-do list for 2024. And let's see, maybe once I learn a handstand, I will be standing upside down whenever I can. People are just probably going to just see me upside down all the time. Ooh, ooh, upside down. Feeling dizzy right now. Number 4, training like I did for basketball again. And do you know why this came about? I got triggered by my mom. Seriously. It was because of this one sentence. You've become soft. You are not the athlete you used to be. And this hurt my ego. It hit a nerve.
And I was just like, that is not possible. That cannot be me. I have been an athlete for so long. That is impossible for me.
So basically, it hit a nerve, and I am tired of feeling like I'm not an athlete anymore, or feeling disappointed in my agility, or feeling disappointed with my speed, and I want to be able to run and train like I did before. And no, I'm not growing old. Yes, I know that the body has changes from like 12 years ago, but that's not going to stop me. I'm still going to do it in a structured manner, and I have started training like that already. I've started focusing on explosive movements, on agility and things like that, and I'm feeling great. Sorry guys. I am feeling great with that, and I'm feeling like the old me is coming back. It's a little bit harder because I feel so tired, and I'm like, how did I do this? Like, I had practice for 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening. I used to cycle to school, and yeah, being a kid is great, and now I feel like I'm talking like one auntie. No, but I will get back into it, and it's amazing, and I can't wait, because then that means I get to play basketball better, and I'm also focusing on the routine in such a way that I do not have any injuries. So I'm wishing for an injury-free 2024, and I wish for an injury-free 2024 for you too if you are watching this. No more injuries in 2024. And oh, one thing, if I do wish for something new, it would be new knees after my surgery, but I know that's not gonna happen. So I'm gonna take care of them, train hard, eat hard, and rest well, recover well, and become the athlete that I was meant to be. And lastly is to get back to my original work ethic. Now, I've been told by many people that I have an athlete's mentality, mainly because I do not give up. I do not know when to give up, and I just keep hustling and hustling and hustling till I get to where I want. That's always been me, and it is my principle. Many people might not agree with this, but it is my principle to hustle hard, work hard, to accept that there's always not going to be balance in life, and sometimes taking extreme measures might be a necessity. Yes, I am not promoting toxic hustle culture. I am all about the balance, all about self-love, but I have always been of the principle that if you want to get somewhere, you need to work hard, and there's no two ways about it. Look, moderation in my opinion can't exist all the time. Yes, there's balance, but it can't always be an equal balance all the time. There is going to be a tip. If this is it, there is going to be a tip temporarily, and then it might come back and then tip the other side. That's literally how life is. And you and I just have to embrace it and accept the fact that that's going to happen and work accordingly. And especially in the last year or two, there's a lot of buzz going around about, let's say, moderation, self-love, being kind to yourself, having balance, taking a step back, which is all I feel like very important, and all of us do need to learn how to balance things, whether it be life, work, relationships, friendships, exercise, nutrition, everything that is there. But I also feel that moderation has been overused, and this is my experience. I can't speak for anybody else. Listening to all of this, I think in the last year, what it did do for me was, if I didn't work so hard, or if I had to take a step back, I'm hoping that you understand this. If I had to take a step back, or if I was just feeling like not doing something or not getting up to something a particular day, I would always convince myself saying that's moderation, that's balance. I need to learn how to balance life and take a step back and be okay with it. But internally, I don't think I was okay with it. So it kind of gave me an excuse to not be so driven, to not be so focused towards my goals. And again, this is only a personal opinion, this is only personal experience. It can be different for different people. And I'm not speaking for everybody here, nor am I promoting hustle culture or demeaning moderation and balance. But I'm just solely speaking from experience. And maybe even that was a tipping point for me where I took it to another extreme of just like moderation and balance and things like that. But it didn't really work for me, and I felt like I was a lot less driven towards my goals, and it just didn't feel like me. And now in the last few months I have accepted that I am someone who hustles hard, who works hard and pushes myself to the limits to achieve whatever I want in whatever field it may be. But I make sure that when I am chilling, when I am resting, I do that all out as well. Like if I'm working hard, I am really working hard, and if I'm chilling, I'm chilling. You can't convince me otherwise. So it's that mentality that I want to get back, because that's how I've always been. I don't know if it's because I've been in athletics, I've been in sports all the time, and like that competitive streak never went away, or I don't know, I just don't know what it is, but that's how I've been for many years, and I don't think it's that easy to just change, and I'm just going to embrace it. So I am going to work hard for what I want, because I have huge dreams, and I'm also going to rest harder for what I want. So this brings me back to the principle of training hard, eating well, and not being like doing anything half-heartedly or half-assed, if that makes sense. So well, 2024 is the year where I work hard, play hard, eat well, rest up well whenever necessary, and just kind of go with the flow and get back to my hyperactive self. Because in this last year, a lot of people told me that I am not like my usual self. My nickname is actually the Energizer Bunny, and if you know the battery brand Duracell, I've actually been nicknamed Duracell because I just keep running around all the time wherever I am. I'm just so hyperactive, and people are like, how do you have so much energy? Well, that was me until earlier this year, and now that's me again in the last few months. And that's the energy I want to take into 2024, and that's the energy I want to pass on to you. So hopefully you have some goals in 2024 that you want to achieve. And again, I'm going to be saving this video and looking back on it probably every week, probably every month, whenever I need the reminder to tell myself that, you know what, you laid down these goals, you better work for it. And yeah, hopefully this video inspired you to take some or set some goals of your own, motivated you to take some action that you've been meaning to for a while, and hopefully you could relate to maybe something, if not everything, in this video. And if you did, please do let me know. If you do not agree with some of my points, that's okay. You can let me know. I would love to discuss about it. And if you have any research on, like, let's say food and exercise and nutrition and things like that, I would love to hear about it, because I'm also going to be making a lot more videos about the science behind exercise and food, because I've just gotten into that zone, and I was like, you know what? It's not enough if we just train and eat anymore. We need to have evidence. We need to know why we're doing what we're doing, and I want all of my members who work out with me to know that as well. So I'm going to be doing a lot of research, a lot of new exciting things coming up in 2024, and I hope you liked this video. If you did, I would love it if you hit that like button and hit that small bell at the bottom, which really helps my channel, really helps me, my channel grow and supports me. And as usual, if you have any questions at all, please do drop it in the comments below. I would love to hear from you, or I would even love to have a chat with you over Instagram. And there's a mosquito flying by which is irritating me, but that's probably my signal to go, and I will see you in the next video. Till next time, bye.